Why aren't you working? Okay, perfect. Good. Hello, welcome, welcome. I am so sorry. I am having such a hard time. Perfect. Okay, so we're live. I was just having a really hard time for some weird reason connecting my Zoom app with my Facebook app, which is sometimes given me this trouble before. So I want to welcome you guys to the Essential Oils for Beginners class. And I'm really excited. Some of you guys that I saw are coming are people who have needed a refresher and have just not been able to connect. So this is a really, really great gift. So I'm going to dive right in and I'm going to share my screen because visuals are always so much funner. Just to introduce myself, my name is Natalie Pelto. I am the founder of Essential Modern Day Healers, and I was brought into this beautiful world of essential oils probably about 4 years ago, and I will give you a quick little introduction about that, but I want to share my screen first. So first, let's get you out of Facebook and get all these things. I always should move this first. There we are, and we'll just present the screen. Yes, something went wrong. It better, I'm telling you, this has been such a retrograde. And if you don't know retrograde, it means that right now we're in a time where electronics are not working as they should be. It's very frustrating. So here we are. So, okay, if we're just patient, it'll all work out. So welcome to the Natural Solutions class, or basically Essential Oils, the basics. If you're here for the first time, I want to welcome you. I'm thrilled that you're here to learn about essential oils. They have truly impacted and changed our lives, and a little over 600 of the people in my organization, which I think is just amazing to know. So my name is Natalie Pelto. Like I said, I have quite a few certifications in different areas. I am a frontline worker in healthcare. I have worked in a diagnostic field for 19 years, going on 20. I have a certification in both nutrition for nutritional therapy, certification in a detox specialty, also cancer prevention and nutrition and longevity. So all of these things that I'm telling you are really just to give you guys an idea of seeing both aspects of such a huge area of what our healthcare system now is and moving forward into, which is so exciting. How was I actually in? How was I introduced to the oils? Why am I here? And what are the intentions of this class? What inspired me to join this as a business? So really why I care and why I want to teach you guys about essential oils and basically health in general is because it had impacted our family in such a huge way. Probably about, I'd say 5 or 6 years ago, oh, sorry, my nose is itchy. No, even more than that, sorry. About 8 years ago, my son was almost diagnosed with autism, and he was on the lower end of the spectrum, just to say, just like give you the short version. And he could not even answer to his own name. He couldn't speak. And I was very privileged to have a wonderful doctor who was able to diagnose him quite quickly. And so what ended up happening was I understood in that moment that our healthcare system at that time was very disempowering in an area where you are basically told you do not have hope. And that's what doctors tell you. Doctors used to say this. They used to tell you that autism could not be healed, that autism was a genetic disorder and that it was going to stick around for life. And strangely enough, now we have seen such a shift and impact in this and how that's changed. So fast forward a little bit to what I ended up finding through my autism journey. I learned about this wonderful thing called the microbiome, which I will talk very, very briefly about so that you can understand why essential oils have such a huge impact in our lives. But I learned about it. And one of the key things that I learned about was that if we changed my son's nutrition and his environment, that he would actually be able to heal. And then fast forward a little bit more as he was healing and beginning to speak a little bit and make eye contact, then came this world where I was ready to embrace a more natural approach through essential oils, which before would have never even, to me, hit my radar. Being in healthcare as long as I had been, I was very, very not interested in a natural approach to most things. And it was very, very new. And I had to think outside the box for his health. And in a way, this was our greatest gift, because then I had to think outside the box for all our health. And doTERRA and I, we found each other. This world of essential oils, we literally found each other at exactly the right moment. And we were both made for each other. And so I get very excited and passionate about teaching others about this. And to fast forward where I am today, and my son is today, he's actually fully healed from his autism. He does not have any of those weird, or I shouldn't say weird, but that's actually very not nice. But he doesn't have any of those perks anymore that come along with autism, the symptoms, the hand flapping, the holding on to toys, the feeling, that need for safety. And I don't speak of those things lightly. At the time, it was every single little thing we went through was a win. And I'm not saying, I have to be very compliant, and I'm not saying that essential oils are what healed his autism. No, what I am saying is our shifts in habits changed his autism. Our shifts in creating an environment where the body could detoxify, clean itself, nourish itself, and the cellular structures could do the same. That's what actually happened. And essential oils were just a major part of our support system. And when we were able to have such a huge success, obviously the intention for my class is to empower others. Now, do I want to empower you to heal autism? If that's the case for you, if that's your number one health concern, absolutely. But what I like to teach others is to actually tackle their first health concern, their major concern. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But what inspired me after that, after about using these essential oils, these beautiful little drops of magic, as I like to say, for a year, I saw that there was an opportunity to share, and I was sharing so much naturally. And I never, ever understood the financial aspect of what it would look like to educate others on a massive spectrum on how to become empowered in their health with something that gives you more instant gratification, let's say, than long-term nutrition plans. And by teaching others about essential oils, I was actually bridging into their other health areas like nutrition, like healthy habits, like detoxification, that was really expensive for others to learn. So that's what inspired me to do this as a business and why I teach so much today. What brought you to this class? This actually kind of becomes the most important thing. For some of you, it will be a refresher. And then for others, you guys are just really interested in embracing this new life of what's happening. Why are essential oils? Maybe you're just curious. Why are essential oils so big right now? What's like the big deal? Are they just a fad? Is it just this oil that's going to make my house smell nice? I wished that I had known or understood the impact of the chemical constituents of what an essential oil is, and the full understanding of the history of our own medical system and medication system, and that it actually was almost all based on certain plants and just synthesized over time. And so learning that essential oils are basically just that original version of what that is in a very potent and pure form. Wow, I wish that it had been explained to me that way. I want you to hone in now, though, and think about what brought you to this class. I want you to take that moment, just one, to really focus on, why am I here? Am I here because I have this thing bothering me that maybe, just maybe, one of these essential oils can help with? Maybe I'm just curious. But at the same time, I want you to think about your health, and I want you to think about, what type of healing in your life are you looking for? And that can look like anything. It can look like, am I having skin issues? Am I having a huge condition like what, I was looking for answers? Am I just looking to maybe detoxify my home and start green living? Our millennials, like, wow, embracing this world. They're going to shift our world hopefully a lot faster than how we destroyed it. So I want you guys to really hone in on the reason that you're here, because I really want to make sure at the end of the day that we share this with you. Okay, so the microbiome in you, the reason that I'm so passionate, and I actually feel that everyone needs to know this, guys. This to me is one of the most important things, and maybe not a lot of people talk about this at their essential oil classes, but having as much experience and education around the microbiome, it's probably a term that you probably haven't heard that much, but the microbiome is basically the study of all the bacteria, viruses, and fungi on your body and in your body. There are actually more microbiome than there are you. And there are trillions of these, and there are less cells than there are viruses, bacteria, and fungi on and in your body. These beautiful little bugs, we'll call them, are actually the success of certain medical absorptions. So this is what's going to decide if a medication is going to work well for you or not. These are the things that absorb food, and how do we support it? Because that's what you want. These are all good. There are bad bacteria, but we're talking about the good ones. How do we support it? We keep nourishing them. We keep feeding them things that are good. We nourish our microbiome, and in turn, it helps us with our body's natural function, which is why we must treat ourselves like an ecosystem. And an ecosystem needs to basically have things removed, the bad stuff out, the good stuff in, and that's exactly how the microbiome thrives. Think of your body as having its own ecosystem. And the microbiome will literally be what our future will start to treat in order to treat very, very massive epidemic conditions right now. Like examples would be diabetes, cancers, autoimmune. All of this can be linked into the microbiome. And if you don't believe me, start researching on very credible sites and studies, and especially looking through the UK, slowly into the United States, and then I live in Canada, which hopefully will hit us very soon. So why do essential oils and a healthy lifestyle? So all of these things. So I live my life based on this pyramid of health, and I have since before doTERRA ever introduced it. I just hadn't laid it out so pretty. So all these things impact the microbiome. And so I teach this at every essential oil class because it's super important and very short, is that nutrition will always be your foundation. Exercise will be the things that help you to detoxify, gets the blood flowing, and environment of your blood. And that's how you transport things throughout the body. Movement is important. Resting and managing stress. 95% of chronic conditions have a stress-based relation. That is actually said by doctors now from all over. Reducing toxic load. So if you notice, all of these impact the one above. Eating right will impact all of this. Exercise will impact all of this. Rest and managing stress will impact exercise. They all work in synergy because our body is not just a broken down piece. It is a cellular structure that works as a system together. And this is where our healthcare system today does not look at it this way. Our healthcare system today looks at our lives as this modern approach where we break the body apart according to how the symptom looks. So if you have pain in your belly, they will try to give you things for your belly. They don't know that maybe you have issues with your mental state, because oftentimes many belly issues can stem from there, and vice versa. People who have mental illness have shown huge differences in impacts just by changing their nutrition and some of their other very minor habits. So it's an interconnect. We are interconnected. And so it's really important to treat it. And essential oils and nutrition, which we're going to talk about essential oils impacting all of this very quickly with our top 10 oils. This is how we actually create overall well-being. Okay, so how do we really kind of tackle some of this stuff? We don't have to make it complicated because it's very, very almost simplicity is better. And even though I just gave you guys a lot of education that is kind of probably overpowering for some, just know that essential oils on the opposite spectrum are simple. They are complex in what they are made of, and how they work in the body can be simply explained. And so that's a great thing. So nutrition is always going to be number one. This is where we saw the biggest impact in my son. So, and in every other wonderful miracle I've seen, I am not going to tell you my age, but I plan on seeing many more. So the Alpha CRS, the EX Omega, and the Microplex MVZ, this is actually, even though doTERRA is a essential oil company, the beauty of them is that their best product is actually, their number one product is food-based, because they knew that the foundation to everything is nutrition. So my peoples out there, my peoples who have soreness, who have joint stiffness, who have pain, who have brain fog, who have no energy, who are here for better sleep, better vitality, who just overall do not feel like they used to in their bodies. This is for you. This is where you start. If you name me any condition, I'm going to tell you to start here. And there's a very good reason, because this is where I've seen the most impact. And the oils are great. The oils actually are beyond great. But the foundation of everything will be how your cells recreate themselves as humans. That's our birthright. We want them to use new, and they use food to recreate themselves. So we want them to have the best start. So that's just some food for thought. Now, how do we use essential oils? Okay, so that's actually a really fun one. And I just noticed that I'm missing a page, so I'm actually going to have to go back and find it after. But how do we use essential oils, and what are they? So let's dive into this part of it. I just want to see if I did skip it. Did I skip it? Nope. I'll have to find it later. Okay, so essential oils are volatile aromatic compounds, which means that when you open the bottle, it becomes vapor very, very quickly, from liquid to vapor. If you want to know if you have a really crappy fake essential oil, which is 99% of what is out on the market today, you can usually just open the bottle, put them in your hand, and it'll leave you this weird filmy residue. And oftentimes that means it's diluted. Now, when you're using diffusion, which we're going to talk about right now, because we're going to talk about the aromatic experience. When you're using diffusion, you're actually impacting, and you want those little structures to actually go up in the air and to impact you and your olfactory system right away. And what's really cool about that is that's a way to impact you the quickest. So when you're dealing with things like airway stuff or emotional support, using essential oils aromatically can completely shift some stuff very quickly. And it can be as simple. For example, I'm tired. Like, just say I'm tired. I worked all day. I'm tired. I need a little pick me up. I'm going to put a drop of peppermint in my hands, and I have just breathed it in, and I've become a human diffuser. I have just learned how to create an experience that is going to impact in a huge way easily, and I didn't have to do anything but open the bottle. And now my hands have absolutely no residue. You can probably see them. They're not wet at all. And that's because this is a pure, potent essential oil. Topically is another way to use essential oils. You want to put them on your skin. And when you do so, this is actually an amazing thing, because when you put them topically, you can actually, this is like localized support. So that means that you're trying to treat a specific area. For me, we wanted to treat my son's brain, right? Because a lot of what we look at is, even though we treated his gut, we also wanted to support his brain. And so we would take this wonderful frankincense touch, which happens to be the BOGO today, and we would rub it along his spine, and then that's it. We would do that every single day. And frankincense has some amazing properties, which we'll talk about when we get through the oils, but using this topically was very, very safe, and it is diluted with fractionated coconut oil. Now, when we're using things topically, there are certain essential oils that can be used neat, and it will say it on the bottle, and there are certain ones that can cause skin sensitivity, such as oregano, and any spice oil generally tends to be able to be a little bit potent. So what you want to do then is you actually want to make sure that you use that fractionated coconut oil being best. And there are certain essential oils topically that you would not put out in the sun. And these are any type of citrus oil other than green mandarin, but we won't even get into that. It's a whole separate thing. But the citrus oils, when you put them out in the sun, they are photosensitive. It's no different than actually dropping some lemon juice on your hands. They will burn in the sun. That's why Sun-In in your hair used to actually turn your hair blonde. It's a photosensitive, the plant itself. Okay, and that actually brings me to essential oils are actually plants. When you look at the volatile aromatic compound that comes from a plant, it's actually coming from the part of the plant that's its immunity. Some people call it the life force. I wouldn't really go that far, but you are looking at how it pollinates, how it attracts things to it, how it protects itself, how it gears its immunity. It has multiple functions. So different plants have different essential oils, which work differently in our own bodies. And because essential oils are made, the cellular structure of a plant and the plants that we use are actually pretty similar to us. And that's why it works so well with us. We actually get to use this when we use this oil and it touches our skin. And this is where topically gets really special. It actually will go into our bloodstream probably within about 20 seconds, and it's in every cell within 20 minutes. And that is a gift, because when we're trying to deal with certain bugs, we'll call them, such as viruses, which are something that we've never been able to treat. Like if you have a cold, the doctor will just tell you to go to sleep, and then have a lot of water, and your body will fight it off eventually. I want to have some different types of support. I want to have more stimulation in how my immunity is going to work in my own body. And that's where the beauty of essential oils comes in. They stimulate a response for you to work better. And that's it. Your body does all the work, but the essential oils create something for you to do that. And topically is an amazing way to do so. Now, internally, this is where we really, really dive into why doTERRA. Like, why did I choose doTERRA above all other essential oil companies? And for me at the time, it was a lot easier than many of you probably today with all these new stores that have opened, being able to buy them off Amazon, being able to go to the health food store, the grocery store, the dollar store, the Walmart, Best Buy, like all these places hold essential oils now. Why? What is the difference? There's a huge difference, guys. So when doTERRA sources their oils, first of all, they source indigenously, and this is huge. If you look at doTERRA's map of essential oils, it is all over the world. You cannot go to a doTERRA farm, and some people think that's a bad thing. That's a good thing. Do you know why? Because when you're farming, you are doing the same thing that you are doing to our food, which is depleting the soil over and over and over again. When you are sourcing indigenously, for the most part, what you're looking at is you're actually pruning plants. You're leaving this plant better than when it's left. And with the way that doTERRA sources, they work with sourcing experts. This is amazing. They make sure that what we're using, we will have access to for a very long time. And if it's not time to source the frankincense trees, for example, that beautiful frankincense, then they don't. And they just are very, very careful at creating these oils for us and always thinking when they release an oil, how will we be able to source this for the masses ethically? And sometimes it looks like they're sourcing from different areas of the world that have the same environment. Now, why is that important? Why is that environment so important? What is the difference? Why can't I just throw in a farm? Why can't I just, create some essential oils in my backyard? It's all about the environment. It's all about what that plant has grown in. It's all about what it's been bombarded with. It's all about its environmental threats. The more harsh the environment that it's lived in and survived, the more potent it will have to yield its essential oil inside for protection and for immunity and for all those things. If you have one frankincense tree in the desert and it is the only thing alive and it's still alive, that's the plant you want to use. And that's why sourcing indigenously is so important. So what else does this do? Well, this actually creates, first of all, a very big opening into bridging or creating more and better economic conditions throughout the world. Many of our oils are sourced from third world countries, and that has just been a gift. Because as much as doTERRA wants to help us acquire the purest essential oils in the world, because there never has been a standard, there is no FDA governing standard in Canada or the United States of what goes on our skin. And doTERRA saw that there was a need for safety, for potency and purity and transparency, integrity. Those words, when I think of doTERRA, those are the words that pop into my head. And they are doing this by creating jobs all over the world, by impacting us in a positive way with the purest oils that do not hurt our liver through detoxification. All other oils that I've seen do. And then what they're doing on top of that is creating economic growth in fairness throughout the world. Who does not want to have part of that? Who doesn't want to have an impact in the world? Okay, so now why did I get to this part? Why did I get off topic a little bit? And I didn't, because I wanted to talk about that anyways. But what I want to talk about specifically is no other essential oil company at this time will talk so much about almost all their essential oils to be taken internally, because doTERRA actually tests their essential oils for heavy metals, herbicides, pesticides, and everything under the sun. That testing, doTERRA tests their oils 46 different tests in lab, and then they send it out, and it's tested on 11 different tests outside by an outside source that has no affiliation to doTERRA. They are testers for many, many other essential oil companies. So yes, it matters when you take an essential oil internally. To me, I would not feel safe. And I actually generally do not allow people to take notes. When I tell you about the oils that we're going to talk about, I don't want people to take notes during that time for safety reasons. Many of the applications I'm going to tell you guys with these oils, you can't do. It'll say right on the bottle of another essential oil company, never to do. Example, yarrow. doTERRA has very, very strategically sourced a yarrow that is we can take it internally, but some yarrows you can't. Don't ever take the knowledge that a person who has spent as much time as I have, or another leader in doTERRA that have taken that time to learn about these oils and learn about the new studies coming out, stay up to date with all the differences and and think that you can do this with other essential oils. There is no way, and it is a huge safety. So please, again, that's the one thing I'm going to say, just don't take notes. Because really at the end of the day, if doTERRA is not for you, that's okay. But don't take that same knowledge and think that it's going to work somewhere else, because it won't. And I know this because when I started my journey with essential oils, I couldn't wait for my doTERRA to come in because I was just like so excited to possibly have something to help my son. And I bought like $200 worth of essential oils from another company. I wouldn't even give those to somebody now. They sit in the back. I'm scared to throw them out. I'm at the end of the day just going to dump them. It's very sad, but I know that they didn't work and that they were probably hurting him more than helping him for sure. Okay, so now that we have gone here, we're going to talk about the top 10 essential oils. And the beauty of these top 10 essential oils is they are in many of the starter kits. And the reason that doTERRA did this was to make this, first of all, less expensive, create more value, and create the opportunity to truly be a solutions provider for your home. Because with these oils, these top 10 oils, and a book in a box, as they say, because they all come with a book, you can actually usually tackle about 85% of the things you come across in your home. Okay, so that's a huge gift. Now, let's start off with lavender. Lavender is an amazing oil. I'm going to give you guys 3 uses for it, and this oil can be used topically, internally, and aromatically, and it will say it on the bottle. This oil is amazing right now, and I'm going to talk about what we're dealing with today, how you can deal with it. So number one, as you can tell, I'm very tanned. And actually, I burnt 3 times this year, which is not really the norm for me. I usually only burn once, and then I usually tan really well. So it was kind of interesting that I burnt, but I haven't peeled yet. Now, why is that? Because I use this oil. As soon as it happens, I use this oil. Not a lot. I've only had to use it about 3 times. I use it right away with some fractionated coconut oil, about 3 drops. That's it. 3 drops of this oil will cover my entire body. Now, that's value. If you go... And this is where I'm going to give you guys just a little bit of value on these products, okay? This is where people are kind of like taken aback. So with these oils, because they are not diluted and they are pure, if you go to most essential oil stores and you ask them, how many oils do I need to put in my diffuser to really like get an aromatic experience in my home and make things smell good? They'll usually tell you anywhere from 16, 17, I've heard some places 32 drops of essential oil, and they're the same size, okay? And this oil here, you only need 1 to 2 drops. And the prices of these 2 bottles are not as different as you would think. And I can tell you value-wise, you actually get way more out of these. And I have seen it over and over again. You do not have to replace these oils that often, other than like lemon, because you're using it every single day. But for the most part, these are bottles that some will last you 5 years. That's amazing. I don't mind spending $25 for something that's going to last me 5 years, that's going to, clear my sunburn every single time. And that's just one thing. Now lavender is a Swiss Army knife. Sorry, I digress. Lavender is a Swiss Army knife of oils. So that means that it has properties that are working throughout the entire body. So it has like multi-uses. It's wonderful for headaches. And I live in Canada. So if you're not listening from Canada, FDA does not like us to say headaches, but Canada we can. So those are my claims for my space, so I'm gonna stick with them. They're amazing for any blemishes, bumps, boils, bruises, any kind of skin irritation. It's a natural antihistamine, so my people who are always on their antihistamines all year round, guys, you guys will see things work like this. They will just amaze you. It's amazing for making your skin look so, so beautiful. It's wonderful for calming. We all know that lavender is great for, most people just automatically think, oh, you put it in the bath. It is great for that. It's also wonderful to sprinkle on your pillow for that really, really nice deep rest that you need at night. So lavender is an amazing, amazing oil. Lemon essential oil. Okay, so lemon essential oil is probably the one I get the most before and after pictures of. And you wouldn't think this because it is an essential oil. It is phenomenal to take stains out. It basically acts like Goo Gone. I will get like people who will send me pictures of upholstery, rugs that they were about to throw out that they'd had professionally cleaned, that nothing happened. And then they remembered, oh, Natalie said something about stains coming out. And they put just a little bit of lemon, peppermint, baking soda, water, let it soak, and then just scrubbed it out and it was gone. That is the beauty of these oils and how pure they are. Now, I would be using, so it's really important to drink a lot of water. You're hearing that everywhere, and it is so, so true. So using lemon in your water is like the most amazing thing, because you can actually, the high content of limonene is so great for detoxification of phase 1, or phase 2 in your liver. Now, eating cruciferous vegetables, that will like kind of detoxify you. And if you're wondering what cruciferous vegetables are, I just realized I started talking in another language for some people. Really green leafy vegetables like kale and broccoli and things like that. They help with like creating detoxification in one aspect of your body and one part of your liver. But there's a whole other part, that phase 2, that deep, deep detoxification. And lemon oil, when I drink that, I know that I'm helping. It's great for antioxidant help and all of these other things. Now, think of it as your ultimate cleanser inside and out. You can clean your house with it and you can drink it and it's safe. Now, how great to have that around kids. That is the thing. That's what I'm talking about. Now, again, with the photosensitivity, just remember lemon cannot be put on the skin unless like here it's winter, because we don't get that much sun here. On Guard. On Guard is my daycare kids. So my daycare kids, I'm really sorry. I know you guys suffer so much. And my parents who have daycare kids and kids that are in school, which right now they're not, but they're still getting exposed to a lot of things out there. And so On Guard is this great way to either clean your home with. It's amazing immunity. And for someone like myself who struggles because I cannot have the flu shot because I'm allergic to one of the components in that flu shot, I love that I have support like that. And it's often that I am not sick. And I know that if I drink this, I prefer to drink it. Do you need to? No. This is one that people love in a roller ball, pre-done, rolled along the throat when they're getting that scratchiness. For kids, it's awesome because you can actually boost their immunity by putting just like a few drops in water with some apple slices. And it also helps them from turning brown as quickly. So immunity is like one of the biggest things, because when you're sick and when you're dealing with sick, there's nothing worse. You don't realize how much you need your health until you are sick. And so prevention is now becoming the new way of health, and it's a great thing. So that's what I'm teaching you guys today, is our new healthcare system, where our healthcare system is still going to be important, but the preventative aspect of it is being brought in and truly going to be where we become empowered in creating health at home. And when we need the healthcare system, when we need the antibiotics, when we need those things, like really need them, they will be there. We will not be filling our emerges in the future with chronic illnesses. We will be empowered with vitality. Health should never be looking at the absence of disease. I hate that. That's how we look at health. That's how we look at health today. Health should be looking at our vitality every day. And so creating practices like this, using On Guard to boost our immunity daily, that's where we're going to create empowerment. Okay, Deep Blue. So I'm talking about Deep Blue Rub here. This must be my class. Oh, you know what I just realized? That's why I'm missing some stuff. So Deep Blue is actually an essential oil. And I'm actually just going to just shift this for a second. So please excuse me while I just do this just quickly, because I just realized that I am teaching you guys the wrong class. This is the Natural Solutions with the Healthy Habits. And that's why I'm missing some images. There we go. Such an easy fix. Isn't that wonderful? Okay. So let's actually do that. Let's go through all this really quickly so we don't have to worry about that. No wonder it started all backwards and I was missing my sheets. There we go. All right. Voila. So present and peppermint. Okay, so peppermint is my gateway oil. So for those of you who have are here for a refresher, I want you to take out your peppermint. Go get it. I'm not going to wait, but go get it. Open it up, rub it in your hands, do what I did, and then really inhale it and just breathe in the magic. Now, this is an oil that has a lot of impact. And the reason it has so much impact is that, again, one of the most versatile oils. So these three oils, we're on the fourth, but peppermint, lemon, and lavender are this combination of oils that together have hundreds of uses. And peppermint is amazing both for airway opening. And it has a big bang impact that way. You can feel just like, oh, you can feel it all the way down into your chest when you breathe it in. It's amazing for wake up. For me, I get up very early. The first thing I do is breathe in peppermint. It gives me this like boost. If I'm about to run, I will rub it in a roller bottle across my forehead, across my chest, get up my endurance. I love it when I have a bit of a sore tummy or indigestion. It's wonderful for just rubbing. I love it for when I feel nausea. It's like, you know, when pregnant women drink peppermint tea, imagine this being 50 to 70 times more potent than that, because it is. Essential oils from doTERRA are 50 to 70 times more potent than the herb. And that's why we have to teach so much safety with them. Well, not even so much safety. They're still safe. It's just, we just have to educate on the potency of the difference between essential oils. So peppermint, 1 drop of this is equivalent to 28 cups of peppermint tea. That is huge. And it has about 200 uses. It's great for keeping away rodents. It's great for keeping away some of those pesky ants. I know that this year has been a huge ant problem around. Lavender we talked about, so we're just going to skip that. Tea tree. So everywhere in the world, this wonderful oil is called tea tree, and for us, it's called Melaleuca, but in Canada, we actually call it tea tree. And tea tree is an essential oil that is extremely cleansing, right? We know that. We know that tea tree keeps really, really nasty bugs, especially the ones that you get that letter from your teachers at school that kids have. It's wonderful for cleansing different areas of the body if they've had cuts or bruises. It's wonderful for like when you're in those hormonal stages, a younger hormonal stage, and you start to break out. It's wonderful for skin stuff. It's extremely, extremely potent. Please remember this tea tree is very potent, and it is from Australia, and it is one of the it's a very, very well-sourced oil. It is an amazing, amazing product. So for me, what I would use for, like, my kids get bug bites, I like to put it directly around the bug bite just to help relieve that sensation. And then I also mix it with peppermint. So that's the other beautiful thing with these oils, is mixing them is totally safe. Like, I put peppermint and turmeric together all the time. I put peppermint and tea tree. I put lavender and peppermint together. I put lemon lavender and peppermint together, either in the diffuser or for people who suffer from that stuffy nose and from pollen and all that stuff. They actually are able to mix these 3 oils for major, major relief, both in airways, decongesting, and antihistamine functions. So it's a combination of support. So it's wonderful. But tea tree is an amazing essential oil that you can, here's a little tip. A lot of people don't realize we get sick sometimes from our toothbrushes. Our toothbrushes hold so much gunk. Our makeup brushes hold so much gunk and bacteria and nastiness. Simply putting 2 drops of tea tree in a little very glass, okay, always use glass or metal when you're dealing with oils, and putting your toothbrushes in. You've supported so much by just cleansing and cleaning that. Talked about On Guard, oregano. Oregano is super supportive too. This is what I like to call your nature's strongest antibiotic. Okay. Oregano is extremely potent for so many things. And I do a parasite cleanse with it every single month for 5 days. 5 to 10 days, depending on how committed I am, because it doesn't taste the greatest, but it's super supportive to that body system. And I like to use it when I'm dealing with the big stuff. So such things as like outgrowths on the skin, people get them on their toes, warts and skin tags and such. You can see a lot of shifts in that. So very, very supportive to the body that way. Deep blue. So this is what I like to tell people who have joint discomfort, who have pain. This is a way for you to support and see such a dramatic impact in that space. And like an example would be my mom. My mom used to walk and used to have pain every day. And she has arthritis in her knee, and she was taking Advil every single day. But I mean, she doesn't want to get a knee replacement yet, and I don't blame her. So she actually started to use Deep Blue. It was her first oil to try, and I could tell you it was probably the best oil to try for her. Completely changed her life. She has not taken Advil for knee pain for, she doesn't even remember how long. They've been using oils 3 years now. I would imagine it's roughly around that. So that's the power of using Deep Blue. My mother's been walking like 2K, doing all these marathon, these 2K walks for supporting, different charities that she wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. So I love to be able to support people like that. For my workout fiends, my gym buffs, my Viper Pit people, because that's what they used to call it when they used to work out with certain people. This is amazing for recovering from a workout and pre-workout. So you just rub it into your muscles so you can just have that extra little oomph. Breathe essential oil. So this oil is also an essential oil that is on BOGO today. So the touch, the frankincense touch, the breathe oil, those are actually by the frankincense touch today. You get a breathe and a digestion, which we'll talk about in a second as well. But breathe oil is all things airway. It's a mixture of Ravensara, eucalyptus, peppermint, lemon essential oil. So for my people who are wanting an oil that's easy to just carry around, who do suffer from, you know, the pollen time, or maybe they just have a lot of sniffly kids, maybe you run a daycare. This is an amazing oil in the diffuser. It will change your life completely. It is so good for opening up airways. And I, myself, am a snorer. And this is the oil that goes in my diffuser every night. And happily, my husband gets to sleep now. And I'm sure that for some of you, that would be like the greatest gift. I see people go from sleeping in 2 separate bedrooms that are now able to sleep in the same bedroom just from using this oil. Couple drops in the diffuser, maybe a little bit on the chest, under the nose, whichever way floats your boat, but they're all effective and super supportive to that airway. Oh. Digestion. So Zengest or Digestion, depending on if you're talking Canadian or American. This is like the tummy oil of all oils. So like remember Pepto-Bismol, it can go through the slew of that. I say it'll cover from the top of your mouth down all the way to your bum and everything in between. I myself am someone who suffers from heartburn or used to suffer from heartburn. And I used to have to take medication for it. And I love that now I actually don't. And I barely have to use this oil anymore. And I, for myself, drink it. My husband, who has more sufferings in the tummy area, bloating, all that stuff, sometimes diarrhea, sometimes constipation, too much inflammation maybe, but it's really supportive for all of that. And just rubbing it on top. If you've had a big meal, there is nothing worse than being bloated after you have a big meal. Rubbing this digestion oil just in the center of your belly button, that will just shift so much for you. And it is a mixture of a bunch of oils that are just spices that are meant to help with that, like cardamom, ginger, I believe peppermint's in there as well. But this oil will change a new mother's life for their babies. I can tell you right now, heavily diluted. This can create just so much ease that I wished I'd had when my kids were so much younger. Okay, frankincense. I believe this is the last oil I'm going to talk about. And this is really, really, really exciting to me that they have this on BOGO as well. Oh yeah, and so the digestion was the other BOGO oil that you get for free by purchasing this. So frankincense is this oil, and the best way to describe it compliantly is to say that it is high in monoterpene, specifically one called aldehyde. And what that means is that, you know, certain oils, they'll help to clean the doorway to the cell. And because we're all cells, really at the end of the day, if you're treating your cellular structure, you are treating your body. Don't break it apart. Just get down to what it's really made out of, right? That's why I say the simplicity of oils is beautiful. And frankincense, okay. The ones that clean the outer doorway of the cells, those are high in phenols. That's their like constituent. Then there's the ones who kind of go in and they help you to clean up some miswritten DNA. It's stimulating you to do the work. Those are the ones that are higher in sesquiterpenes. And then we have these guys, this good old frankincense, very high in monoterpenes and oils like wild orange, frankincense, I think grapefruit too, but they're all able to basically act kind of like the ultimate doctor. And they go in there and they stimulate this response from you that can almost reset a cell. And that is like, I don't know if you guys can really understand the impact that can have, but that is a huge impact, because in a world where cells are, especially at my age and up, our cells are hanging around longer. And when cells hang around longer in the body, they have more chance of getting damaged and of doing harmful things and recreating harmful diseases. Whereas when we have the ability to reproduce cells like when we were younger, they don't hang around as long. And frankincense is one of these beautiful oils that has a huge impact on cellular health. So I hope that it is called the king of oils for a reason. It can do things to your skin that almost no other oils can do. It's amazing for spots, especially my women who have had children. Sometimes they get those spots, hormone spots, whatever you want to call them, sunspots. scary spots that you get sometimes. And my dad had one. He had a scary spot. That's what I called it. And I said, I made him one of these with, like, at the time they didn't have the touch kit, I don't think. And I said, here, put this on. And he did. I didn't think he would. He put it on for a month. And then he very proudly showed me his arm a month later, and it was gone. Whether it was a sunspot or not, you know what? It was kind of nice to just not have to go to the doctors and be scared and tested and be worried. So I think those are the gifts these oils can give. Okay, so how to get these tools in your home is always the most fun thing for me to talk about, to be honest, because I mean, this is where the magic happens. I don't know why this phone went crazy. So getting these tools in your home. So there are 3 kits I'm going to talk about today because they are my favorites. They are the most impactful, and they cover at least all of the top 10 oils that I talked about. One of the most bought kits is actually the Home Essentials kit, because we talked about diffusion. Diffusion is where people generally like to start because they're comfortable and it's easy. Diffusion is you put a few drops of essential oil in your diffuser and you watch the magic happen, whether it's going to impact your sleep, whether it's going to support your mood, whether it's going to support your airways, but it supports a lot. Your olfactory, your limbic system can, like, which is your smell, can help support multiple types of hormones, but also like regulate your heart rate, regulate digestive. Like, there's so many things you can impact just through that smelling of certain things that is important to start with, for me, to educate you guys to start with a diffuser. So this kit here is $330. It comes with a diffuser, all of the oils in their 15 ml form, which is the larger bottles. And it comes with a membership for 25% off. So it's basically like you're getting this, but you're also getting this like 25% off for the year. It's amazing, guys. Like, getting 25% off products like this is phenomenal, and everyone gets it. Like, I love that that we all get the same discount. To me, that's fair. I think that everybody should have access to it, and so does doTERRA. So you get to purchase whenever you want. Like, look at doTERRA as this beautiful health food store that delivers to your door. And you can purchase any of the single oils or different oils, build your collection, buy an oil 1 month, skip a month, whatever. It's like this amazing store, and it comes right to you. The second kit that I'm going to talk about is actually the smaller kit. We call this a sampler kit. If you've never dealt with essential oils before, and this is like your first experience, then maybe this is where you'd like to start. There's total value in this kit. You get all top 10 oils. That's like, again, a book in a box. You're supporting 85% of the conditions you come across, but you do not have a diffuser. The bottles are also the smaller bottles. They're about 5 ml. And if you want to know what the difference is, these oils here is the 15 ml bottles. These actually hold about 250-ish plus drops. And then the smaller ones hold about 65 to 100-ish drops, depending. For the most part, I'd say you're probably looking at around 65 to 80, but you never know. Some bottles are super full too. But that's what you're looking at, the range. So that one here is $185. So now if you're actually looking, I just want to give my value people to break this down really quickly for you guys. So purchasing this one at $185, okay, this one here that comes with a diffuser and 2/3 more is not 2/3 more the price. So you're not only getting the 25%, they both get the whole 25% wholesale discount, but this one here, you're getting a diffuser. It's almost like you can look at it as you're getting a diffuser for free, or you're getting your frankincense bottle for free. And frankincense is a very hard essential oil to acquire, but doTERRA has the rights to I want to tell you guys something special about doTERRA's frankincense. doTERRA has the rights to 84% of frankincense in the world, and we want that to maintain, because doTERRA is actually sourcing frankincense ethically and with a sourcing expert. So they know how many times they can score that tree. They know when they need to leave the trees to rest, when there's a drought. They are constantly monitoring conditions for that tree so that they will always have access to it. And they are paying these people who were used to be paid nothing, like literally pennies for what should have been worth hundreds, maybe thousands. They are paying them fairly and ahead of time. So doTERRA pays them also whether they source them or not. So if the trees need to rest, doTERRA still pays them. That is their promise to how they want to maintain ethical sourcing of this tree, because of how potent it is for us and how much it affects our bodies. So just know that frankincense, hard to acquire. It is almost like you're getting a bottle of it for free here. Okay, now the last kit I'm going to talk about is actually one of the kits I sell the most, and there's a very good reason. To me, this is, if I had thought differently when I first started, this is the kit I would have started with. And this kit here has all top 10 oils that I talked about with a few extras. Now, remember those supplements I talked about? After talking so much about the oils, I know you guys probably are like, oh yeah, I forgot about those. Remember how I said how important foundationally that was? This kit here comes with that. It comes with all of doTERRA's, probably I'd say starter most loved. So their shampoo, their conditioner, they're a beautiful diffuser that's about a 10-hour diffuser. Actually, so is the other one now. This one here is also a 12-hour diffuser. It comes with fractionated coconut oil. It comes with the toothpaste. It comes with a beautiful box to place your oils in. It comes with a couple of the roller balls that are very supportive to very specific times that are on it, that I teach like a different class for. But they also come with Terrazyme. And if you buy the one from Canada or the States, depending, one of them will come with the probiotics. So this kit here is valued at $600. This one here saved you about $80 or $86 Canadian. This one here saves you, I believe, $200 and something. And the thing that's nice about this kit here, it also expedites because you get to purchase at 25% off. If you purchase again the month after, you actually get another $100 in free product given to you so you can keep growing your collection. So it kind of expedites things a little bit for you. So this kit is probably one of my favorites and so worth the $600. Okay, so partnerships. Now, I wish that I had known everything I had known starting in my journey through doTERRA, because I would have started sharing these oils right away. And it's natural to go into the world of sharing because, first of all, if you think about it, when you have something that impacts your health in a world where health is so declining, when you have and run into someone who has that same health issue that you used to have, wouldn't you tell them the approach that changed it for them? That's how easy sharing is. But now, saying that, I like to tell people that financial healing is extremely important, as important as health healing. And as hard and sad, I hate to say the word sad because I still work in healthcare, our healthcare system is, I can't lie, there are many things breaking down in it. The system itself is in some ways failing us because there never has been more chronic conditions. You know, we may be living slightly longer, but we are not living better. And that's where our financial system also is shifting. Our financial system needs as much lifting and uplifting and helping and supporting as our healthcare system. And doTERRA actually offers this because of their integrity and how that they work. There are 3 pathways I like to talk about when we talk about doTERRA. For some people, they just want to be the solutions provider for their home, and that is wonderful. What we do there and what my job is to do there, and this is where I take things very seriously. My job at the beginning to teach you about these oils is very short. Like, really, the magic happens once people decide to join my community. That is when the education and my job really starts, because it's a lifestyle. You are purchasing and buying into a lifestyle, a change, a shift into something new. And what we do when that happens, if you're in pathway 1, you just want that education. You want to become the solutions provider for your home. You are super valued because doTERRA is a product-based company. Only about 85 to 90% of people decide to share or sell doTERRA like myself and sell essential oils and educate as much as I do. And the second pathway are my sharers. And I have a community that's full of sharers as well. And they like to just share with their neighbors, share with their family. And the beauty thing about sharing is that not only do they get extra education, they are also able to get a lot of their product paid for. And that is really great for a lot of people because they're already getting better, but they also would like to have that little bit of extra financial support just to pay for their product so that they can get it for free. Now, my third people, which are people who are super inspired and want to shift our world right now. They see the problem. They are already usually educating in health. They already are, and you don't have to have like all the knowledge, guys. You don't have to have the certifications. The thing with my certifications that I usually tell people is that I was educating more about health before I even had those certifications. And you know what's great about the certifications? They just told me and affirmed what I already knew and had learned. In a world where the internet can literally teach you everything, we have the knowledge available to us. And so if you're that person who is super interested in seeing the shift and being the shift and just partnering and going all in your own financial growth and in educating others. That's the beauty of this business, is that you get to educate people on their health, and you actually get to financially get reimbursed for it and paid for, and just, it's a wonderful thing to have. And it's a very, very achievable thing. So I suggest you hop into, if you ever wanted to, look into the doTERRA compensation plan. But this is my talking about the business, and it stops there because doTERRA is a product-based company, and some of you guys just don't want to hear it, and I'm okay with that. Oh, whoops, I guess I put the slide here for a reason. But this is what doTERRA, what does a biz look like financially? And it can. And if you actually look at silvers and golds, this is completely achievable. I hit gold in a year. I still work full-time in healthcare. And just think about this. This is American pricing. Just think about what that could look like for you and your family. For people who are just sharing, they sometimes will hit silver. Imagine what that could look extra yearly for you, right? Okay, so for those of you who are interested in connecting, just definitely let me know if you're ready. For those who stay till the end and want to have my ebook, I actually like to give everybody my ebook for the Healthy Habits ebook that I created. I made it. And it's a great way to create habitual habits to shift into this new lifestyle. So if you stay to the end, just shoot me an email to emdhealers@gmail.com. The ebook will actually be sent out today, right when I get your email. And if you are ready to connect, you can either start your own process through www.mydoterra.com/emdhealers, or you can actually message me personally through my email or on Facebook or in this event, or find me somehow, and we can connect and talk to you and just really give you your options. Now, the last thing I want to talk about today, just to finish this off, is very briefly about the kind of support you get, but also about our BOGO. So today only at midnight tonight, it ends, there is a BOGO happening. And doTERRA does this a few times a year, very, very rarely. But right now there's an amazing BOGO as well. So if you want to know how to acquire the BOGO, there are different ways, but the BOGO is purchase a frankincense touch, and you can get an easy air touch and a digestion touch. And the beautiful thing about this is the value of that is about $140. And you're able to get it, I believe it's at retail quite much higher. I think it's about $80-something, but you can actually get you can pay $42 for the 24. So if you want to have the discount without buying a kit, you totally can too. It's $42 and it gives you 25% off for the year, and you can like kind of mix and match your own kit. If you want the BOGO at the 25% discount, because it's huge savings already, I believe the BOGO at the discount is $58. And then you can actually just pay that extra $42 and you'll still get all three oils. To me, it would probably roughly end up being the same price as if you bought them retail. So if that's an option, you can actually do the same thing. It's still through the same website, or you can just reach out to me. Now, just so you know, there's tons of support that comes with this lifestyle. And like I said, that's where the education starts. And so we would, as soon as you are enrolled, we would start that process where we would go do a wellness consult, a coaching call, and we would set you up for success for the next 3 months, and then reconnect after that to see where you're at. And that is the beauty of really diving into your own goals and getting to see them actually come to life. So I hope you enjoyed this class, and it was lovely teaching you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful evening.